in front of 19,000, however many it was, packed to the brim, hard place to play. You just don't go into that in a game that has stakes and win. And you especially don't go into that environment in a game that has stakes where it feels as if the calling of fouls and the free throw attempts is a little skewed one way over the other and win. And that's exactly what Mississippi State did on Saturday. They went into an environment with almost 20,000 people that were into it. They had a commanding lead. They weathered the storm from an Arkansas run like they're always going to make in that environment. They didn't shoot as many free throws. They didn't have as many free throw attempts. There were more fouls called against the Bulldogs than there were against Arkansas. They withstood all of that, and they got a win. And as a result, Joe Lunardi now has them in the NCAA tournament. No longer part of the last, first four out or the next four out or the under consideration. But over the course of 2.5 weeks, Joe Lunardi has taken them from 80, the seed line 80, to now in the field of 68. It's remarkable. They're playing with a ton of confidence, 5 straight wins. Hey, Dad, it was really impressive. And it was a different guy this time. This time it was Deshaun Davis who had the monster game.
Yeah, and that's something I've noticed in this winning streak for State. 5 wins in a row, they've had 4 different leading scorers. Tolu Smith has had 2 games where he was the leading scorer, but then you had a DJ Jeffries game, a Shaq Moore game, and then, as you just mentioned, a Deshaun Davis game. 4 Bulldogs in double figures. Yep. They shot the ball well again, 47%, 60% from behind the line, only 10 3-pointers, and they made 6 of them. I think that's a good ratio for Mississippi State. And they dominated the game. The last time Arkansas had the lead was 17-16. State grabbed the lead from there and never gave it back. In the second half, Arkansas cut it to 3, I think, one time, but State was able to push it back from there, and they made clutch shots down the stretch. This was a great basketball game. This is one of they're the best games they've played all year. I think the Missouri game, this game, and the TCU game, these last 3 Saturdays have been good days for Mississippi State. And now, like you said, they've put themselves in a position where if they just take care of their business, if they don't have another bad loss, and there's only really 2 opportunities for that. That's this Saturday in Oxford and then next Wednesday at home against South Carolina. If they can win those 2 games and then maybe win one more, right? Kentucky, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. Win one more of those games, I think you're in. And that is a testament to the coaching job that Chris Jans has done this year. Has really, really overachieved in his first season in Starkville.
I wanted to see what the box score said. 19,200. So that's capacity. And it was electric.
Good crowd,
It was loud. It was packed. Man, I think Wednesday night is huge. I agree with you that, that they can't afford a loss to Ole Miss. They can't afford a loss to South Carolina. But I think they've got to win 2 of those 3 among Kentucky, Missouri, and Texas A&M. Because things are fluid on the bubble, right? I mean, you're not a slam dunk in when you're one of the last 4 in, which is where they are right now. And also, you'd like to play yourself out of that trip to Dayton and just be in the big bracket to start things off.
This game Wednesday has some bubble buster kind of feel to it, right?
It absolutely
especially
does.
For Kentucky. I think Kentucky is out.
I don't think it's in both directions. I think Mississippi State can knock Kentucky out of the tournament on Wednesday night.
Yeah. What a crazy thing to say out loud.
Yeah.
This has been a really fun season to cover. The way they because when they lost 7 out of 8, they could have just packed it up and said, it's just not our year and see what happens. Instead, they've started playing their best basketball. I don't think they're going to win out. I think they obviously have a loss coming at some point. It's just where is it going to happen? Maybe at Missouri, Texas A&M. You saw Texas A&M Saturday. They're playing at a really high level as well. But I think, as like I said, if they can beat South Carolina and beat Ole Miss and win one more, that's what they would be 8-10.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe win 1 in Nashville. I think you'd probably be in.
I don't think you need to be below 500 in conference play. I mean,
it makes it more interesting than it needs to be.
Right now at 41 in the net, which is, it's right there. I mean, you'd rather the first
dropped
number
a spot
be a 3.
from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might say, how'd they drop a spot without it's
because his other teams played.
Who did you play? Where did you play them? Who did the team that you play? So, I mean, it's, nothing in a vacuum. I've got back-to-back Mississippi State games on TV. I've got the game at Missouri, and I've got the home game at Texas A&M. And I think for different reasons, those are two really interesting matchups that are on the horizon. Missouri's playing really well. Mississippi State's already beaten Missouri once. Texas A&M has won 12 of their last 14. They're a little smaller. They're not huge, but they play with 2 bigs as opposed to just one most of the time. And there's a lot of chess that's happening in those 2 games. So Mississippi State currently 5-7 in the SEC with 6 games remaining in league play, right? Yeah, 18 SEC games, 5-7 is 12. Okay, so 6 left. Kentucky on Wednesday night in Starkville.
Feels like there's a lot of momentum for State, and there's not any for Kentucky. I'm going to take the Dogs there.
Okay, so that's 6-7. I agree with you on that. And look, I mean, would it be the most Kentucky thing ever if Kentucky, looking like they are on the ropes and dead, goes on the road and wins a game that it feels like they shouldn't? Of course it would. But I agree with you. If we're just predicting, based on what we're seeing right now, I'm taking Mississippi State at home. By the way, is that sold out yet?
Not yet, like 1,000 tickets left.
Well, then get off your can and buy a ticket if you don't have one and you're a Bulldogs fan. 7:30 Wednesday night in Starkville. Buy a ticket. Fill it up. All right, so that's 6. At Ole Miss on Saturday. I know where you're going to fall on this one. I tend to agree with you. So 7-7.
What a
at
comeback.
Missouri on Tuesday, February 21st.
That feels like the loss, right? That feels like where it's going to get away from them.
Missouri shoots it so well at home. Something was different. We were having dinner, like sit at the bar dinner late Saturday night after the LSU A&M game. And I was talking to Mark Wise and our producer from the game. And I said, you know what's interesting about – so Missouri shot 52% in Knoxville. And what was it that people had said about Tennessee defensively? They lock everybody down. And Missouri, if you looked at their home and away season numbers, they shoot like 52% at home and 39% on the road. Mississippi State locked Missouri down on the road a week and a half ago. But Missouri shot like they do at home at Thompson Bowling on Saturday.
Since State held them to 52, Missouri has scored, I think, 86 and 85.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
They've gone right back to what they were doing before they played State. It's like they never
But again, a little bit of an anomaly because one of those was on the road.
Right.
Regardless, I agree with you. I think that's a really tough ask in Columbia. Not saying it's impossible. Mississippi State has already beaten them.
Don't you get a little wiggle room now, though, with Arkansas, that it's not like you have to go to Columbia and win now? Or is it like that?
No.
Right. No.
No.
It's not a must-win.
And look, I mean, Missouri's good.
Yeah,
Missouri's are they inside 30 in the net now? I don't have it pulled up right this second. We'll look at that in a minute.
They are 45th. They're actually behind State.
Really? I thought they were in the 30s. Okay.
No.
But they have been projected solidly in the field for a while by Lunardi. All right.
It's weird. Their resume is better than State's. It's weird.
They've got
They're 8-6, quad 1, quad 2.
Wins.
They're 8-6, quad 1, quad 2, and State is 5-8.
Yeah.
So
Missouri's
that head-to-head win must just be big, you know.
Texas A&M in Starkville, Saturday afternoon.
This is the toss-up game for me. I could really go either way. I feel like at home, State has been really good this year. But at the same time, Texas A&M is playing at a really high level. They're playing really, really well. I'll lean State, but it's really, really, really close.
I got South Carolina at home. I think State beats South Carolina. I know you do as well. And then at Vandy, I'm gonna hedge here and say Mississippi State wins either at home against A&M or on the road against Vandy. I actually think the matchup against Vandy is kind of tough because of how well Liam Robbins is playing. And I think there's potentially the opportunity to not take away, but neutralize Tolu Smith a little bit with Liam Robbins. And Vandy's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and they shoot well in their home building. So I'll just hedge between A&M and Vandy and say they win one of those and lose one of those. I don't know which is which. Which is 9-9. They're dancing.
You're in.
They go 9-9. They're dancing.
What an accomplishment in year one.
Kidding me?
I didn't think they could go up to Fayetteville and win.
Accomplishment from 3 weeks ago.
True. I mean, seriously, if you would have asked me behind the scenes, are they beating Arkansas? No. They're not going up there and winning. And they made a bunch of, 60% from three, right? That's a number that they may never hit again. They're not a good three-pointing shooting team.
But really selective, right? They only took good shots.
That's it. They took 10 shots, and they were good in rhythm, open looks within the confines of the offense. They didn't just make a bunch of shots that they just jacked them up, and they just happened to go in that day.
Mississippi State made 2 3-pointers more than Arkansas made, and they shot 8 fewer. State was 6 of 10 from behind the arc. Arkansas was 4 of 18. That's 60% versus 22%, and that's the difference in a 6